Europe's drug agency EMA is to review production and clinical studies of the Sputnik V vaccine in Russia. Can reservations about the Russian vaccine be dispelled? Experts from the European Medicines Agency, the EMA, are due to travel to Russia in the coming days for an inspection of the COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik V. The regulator described the inspection of a production facility in connection with the assessment of an application for approval in the EU as a normal step. The EMA is legally obliged to check whether manufacturers of pharmaceuticals for which a marketing authorization application has been made in the EU adhere to good manufacturing practice, was the response of the authority to a request from Deutsche Welle. Emma Cook, director of the EMA, had already announced an inspection of production facilities for the vaccine in March. Clinics in which Sputnik V has been clinically tested should also be visited to check compliance with good clinical practice. That's the GCP. Clinical studies that support EU marketing authorization must comply with the GCP, an international ethical and scientific quality standard for human studies. Compliance with the standard ensures that the rights, safety, and well-being of study participants are protected and that data is kept from clinical trials are credible, according to the EMA. The authority does not want to publish the results of its inspection until the approval application for Sputnik V has been examined in the EU. When exactly European inspectors will travel to Russia, the EMA did not want to provide any information on either. The Russian side has given April 10th as the date. Can you trust the Russian data on Sputnik V? There is great distrust of the Russian vaccine in the EU. It was not until March 17th that 5 EU parliamentarians sent a letter to the EMA in which they stressed that Russia had repeatedly proven more than willing to politicize and falsify medical and scientific data very professionally and on a large scale. If so, this serves political goals. As an example, the parliamentarians cited the doping scandals of Russian Olympic athletes and the poisoning of the opposition politician Alexei Navalny. Peter Liese, health policy spokesman for the EPP group in the European Parliament, therefore supports a review of the vaccine. I can well imagine that it works, that it has a good protective effect and also acceptable side effects. But ultimately, that is not yet clear because it has never been put through its paces, said Peter Liese. According to Liese, Russia's advance in August 2020 was problematic. At that time, Moscow had announced that it had approved the first vaccine against COVID-19, even though the vaccine had been tested on fewer than just 100 people at the time. The BioNTech Pfizer vaccine had clinical studies with over 40,000 subjects who received either the vaccine or a placebo, said Liese. This is the least, even if in medicine as in life there is no 100% security, he says. Has the EMA carried out inspections of other vaccines? According to the EMA, GMP inspections are being carried out on the manufacturers of all 4 COVID-19 vaccines approved in the EU. BioNTech Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. These were mainly carried out in the USA, but also in the EU, including Italy. Within the EU, compliance with drug production standards is monitored by national regulatory authorities, and the EMA coordinates this work. Outside the EU, an inspection may only be omitted if it has already been carried out in the last 2 or 3 years, explains the EMA. The vaccine approved for the EU were also tested for their clinical practice, the GCP, mainly on the basis of reports from national regulatory authorities, in the case of BioNTech Pfizer, the German and American ones. There is an agreement between EMA and the US Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, on the mutual recognition of the standards. The EMA has no such agreement with Russia. Does the European Union need Sputnik V? Since the vaccination rate of the population against the coronavirus in the EU lags behind many other countries in the world, Federal Health Minister Jens Spahn here in Germany recently announced talks with Moscow about the purchase of Sputnik V, but only after approval by the EMA. However, it's still unclear how many vaccine doses Russia, where the vaccination rate is actually well below the EU average, could actually deliver. So far, Russia has no production capacity to make large deliveries to the EU. An alternative could be the production of Sputnik V within the EU. R-Farm Germany, based in Illertissen in Bavaria, the German subsidiary of the Russian pharmaceutical manufacturer R-Farm, has already submitted an application to the EMA for Sputnik V to be tested. The Bavarian state government has provisionally agreed with the company on the purchase of 2.5 million doses of Sputnik V, but only if the vaccine is approved. The first deliveries are expected in July at the earliest. For EU parliamentarian and health expert Peter Liese, production capacities are crucial. If there are 1 million vaccine doses in July, then we definitely don't need that. But if there are 20 million, 30 million vaccine doses, that should be included in the strategy, said Liese. And there is no reason not to import a safe, effective vaccine. So we will see how this ends up. If the Russians were right, that happened 2 days ago, but we still haven't heard anything because the process is not finished. The EU didn't tell us when they would travel, so we will know when they come with the result. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.